It is Friday, July 8th, 2022. I'm Chris Primo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Friday puzzle, so our first of two themeless puzzles for the week, and I'm going to try and solve this relatively quickly. I'm not going to attempt to speed through it, but I have a bit of time pressure. So this perhaps slightly accelerated edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Overfull Hitbox, Quotidiophile, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, the inimitable Connor O'Neill, and the infallible Cynthia Toms. So thank you so much to the six of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for directly supporting this channel and helping to make the series a sustainable part of my daily work. And thank you to everybody who has backed the Patreon campaign. And if you are generous enough to do so yourself, you will get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. And you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve, and there's a link in the description field underneath the video. You can also join the Daily Solve Discord chat server through one of those links in the description field. And if you're enjoying this series, please do subscribe on YouTube. Thank you so much to everybody who's done that as well. We're actually not too far from 9,000 subscribers, so that's very exciting. All right, let's get on to today's puzzle. As I said, it's a Themeless Friday puzzle. It was constructed by Kyle Dolan, who's done a dozen puzzles, maybe a few more than that, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving. Something a provocateur opposes. The status quo, perhaps? It might be. That actually fits the number of letters. I was thinking the norm or convention maybe actually is better. No, it's not. It doesn't fit. Status quo. Let's try it and see. Dropped in the ranking could be sank in the rankings. County in Wyoming, Montana, or Idaho. I don't know. River for which a European capital is named. This will probably be very obvious when I see it, but I can't think offhand. Representative. I don't know. Game with a 1 to 12 card deck. I don't know. Does the playing card game Uno? I guess it's not playing cards, but the custom card game Uno, does that have that many? I don't know. Burns, e.g., could be a noun or a verb or a name for that matter. Oh, Robbie Burns, Scott. Robbie Burns, a Scottish poet, perhaps. And a portmanteau unit of computing information. Oh, a quant or is that what that is? I think that might be the answer. Let's look at this. Skyfather of Greek myth. Skyfather of Greek myth. Who is this? Another one I wish would come to mind, but it doesn't seem to be. But actually, status quo is looking pretty good, especially if this is indeed quant. It might not be, but I think if this is status quo, it probably is. Book agent. Question mark. So some kind of pun or wordplay. And here we have a tart dessert topping. And here we have shame that. Oh, this doesn't look great, does it? Hardly be hard on someone. Oh, maybe this isn't sank. Maybe this is slid in the rankings, not sank. Does that help? Hardly be hard on. To hardly be hard on you is to, I don't know, I'm not seeing it for some reason. Spam, oh, I guess this isn't quant, because spam holders would be tins. Let's see, so portmanteau unit of computing information probably does have a U. I just don't know. Tart dessert topping and shame that. This looks a little bit better, actually, but I don't know what this is. Boy, I'm just not sure if this is status quo. That's so tricky. I wonder if I can get anything else in this area? Point blank, oceanic spot, farthest from land. Don't know. Drugstore brand named for its target area. Drugstore brand named for its target area. Its target area. I don't know. Well, here we have Ulaanbaatar, so that's at least something I can put in the grid. What some screens catch? Flies or mosquitoes or what? Screens. Also, drug screenings or I don't know if this is going to be plural or not. Speak before a meal, perhaps. Say grace, maybe? That looks relatively certain, I would say. Get equipped. To gear up, maybe? Is that? Can you say that? And with 45 down, pre-marriage name of a 1940s to 1950s first lady. Pre-marriage name. I don't know that I'm going to be sure about that offhand. Offering with a blessing. And encourage. Where Songkran is a national New Year's holiday. There's another one I'm sure I will recognize instantly some more crosses, but can't bring to mind. To beat to the finish is to out... Well, actually, it could be past tense as well. You beat somebody to the finish, you outraced them. So that would fit with that extra D. Question at a press conference, maybe. Could be a verb or a noun. It could be to question somebody, or it could be a question. Trailing. Not true. Lyre playing great-granddaughter of 8 down. Is it errato? Mission Santa blank. National Historical Landmark in California. I don't think I know. Maybe this isn't errato. I'm kind of taking a stab at that one. Begins to come to is nears a destination. And encourages is something with an S. Offering with a blessing. With a question mark. Oh, sneeze with a blessing. I wonder if it's something about sneezing or something like that. Banned compound once used to control malaria. Is it DDT? And question at a press conference. Who's next? Oh, so question not from the actual journalist, which is what you'd expect, but maybe from the person giving the press conference or the press agent asking who has the next question among the journalists. So what is this? Trailing. In tow. There we go. Yes. You have your children in tow, for instance. They're trailing you. Oh, is this Mission Santa Inez, maybe? I'm just trying to think of what this could be in 4 letters with an I, but it doesn't look right. I don't know. It's a Spanish name, so it would work. And there is a Saint Inez, I'm pretty sure. So encourage and offering with a blessing. Oh, Kleenex. It does have to do with sneezes. So a tissue brand. And lyre playing great-granddaughter. Maybe it is errato. What if I put that in? Mission Santa. Is there any way this could be something else? Begins to come to. Begins to come to. Oh, begins to come to, maybe. Begins to wake up. Stirs. Yes. There we go. I was reading it a very specific way, and I shouldn't have. So to encourage somebody is to nurture them. Oh, in Thailand, of course. Songkran. That really looks Thai to me, so I should have zeroed in on that. I should have neared it. And then this is Santa Inez, after all, with an S at the end. And then not true is nuh-uh. Okay, there we go. All right, great. We've cleaned out that part of the grid. That's good. Like much of Maine, U.S. state of Maine, presumably. What is it? And anything we've not seen. Prized, perhaps. Rare, maybe? A prized possession, a rare possession. A book agent. Oh. Is it an odds maker or an odds taker? Odds maker, presumably. A bookie. A booking agent. Odds maker, probably. They make the odds. So drugstore brand named for its... What does that mean? Does it mean a brand name of a drugstore itself? So there are drugstores called this? Just glancing at the clock. Let's see. Don't know what this portmanteau unit of computing information is. Oh, lemon curd is a tart dessert topping. Should have gotten that immediately with the QU. I keep thinking Skyfather of Greek myth is Uranus, but wouldn't that be the Roman name? Shame that. It's too bad. There we go. Okay. Oh, okay. So the portmanteau unit of computing information, qubit, I suppose. Is that something? That would, maybe that's a portmanteau of quark and bit, or quant and bit. Not sure. Drugstore brand name. Oh, I guess this was Uranus the whole time. That was my very first thought, but I thought that would have been Roman. And then drugstore brand Tums, I guess, named for the stomach, I suppose. I don't know that I never really thought about that. That is a medication brand. I haven't heard the name Tums in many years. Okay, like much of Maine. And let's see what's up here. County in Wyoming, Montana, or Ohio, right? Oh, actually, Teton maybe? The Tetons. That's a kind of region in that part of the U.S., isn't it? Maybe that's the name of a county, a namesake for a county in 3 states. To hardly be hard on is to dote on. You could dote on somebody you really care about and not ask much of them. Oh, river for which a European capital is named, Amstel and Amsterdam. Right? So I was trying to think of a word that was both the name of the river and the capital, but no, that's not actually what the clue says. Just that it's named for it, not that it has the same name. Representative, totemic, sort of representative. If something is representative of its kind, it's kind of totemic of it. I think that's fair enough to say. Point blank, oceanic spot farthest from land. Is it Point Nemo? Is that a reference to Captain Nemo or something like that? The Jules Verne character. Place to drive if you're so inclined. If you're so inclined. And drive. So there's some sort of pun going on here with the question mark indicating as such. So it could be driving in golf. I mean, it could be you're sort of trying to hit a golf ball off of a hill or something, an incline. Not sure. What's some screen sketch? Oh, lint screens in a dryer. There we go. And photo edit function. Crop. You could crop a photograph. And place to drive. Oh, an on-ramp. Okay, so it was driving as in driving a vehicle, and it was an incline because it's an on-ramp onto a highway. Okay, like ancient Roman senators, are they togaed? Maybe? Ottoman title could be Agas and Aga Khan. And insect with a delicate need. Oh no, a delicate nest. I'm sorry, a delicate nest. Paper wasp? Wasps make their nests out of, or at least some wasps, I guess, construct their nests of paper. I wonder if that's what this is referring to. Part of a typical business search result on Google, an area map, maybe? And fare thee well. Godspeed? Kind of a similar vibe in saying fare thee well and Godspeed. They're both a little bit archaic and slightly grand, I suppose. Tricky thing to pull off. Question mark. So this, what, something difficult to literally take off of you or to pull off of something else? Absolutism. And colorful blooms along the coast. I don't know, colorful red something? Es tut blank Lied, I'm sorry, in German. No, I'm not sure. What about this? Oh, right, the pre-marriage name. No longer feeling. You're over, but that doesn't fit with gear up, which does look like it's the answer to get equipped at this point. No longer feeling. Numb. Okay. Like much of Maine. Sylvan? And an Eva, I mean, that is a name. Let's see. DC Group. DC presumably District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. in the U.S., but it might be something else. Probably ends with an S if it's a group. Source of some fur. And a stain is a blot, or could be to stain or a stain. Defeat soundly is to drub. You don't usually hear it said in that way. You usually say that was a drubbing. But you could say to defeat soundly is to drub another team, I suppose. And a dog that's a cross of two French-named breeds. Excuse me. An urchin, perhaps. And to cart around is to tote around, maybe? Tearing up or tearing up, perhaps. Could be, oh no, I was going to say emitting, as in emitting tears, but that's a bit silly. And it doesn't fit anyway. Oh, emoting. If you're tearing up, you're crying, you're emoting, you're externalizing emotion visibly. Okay, DC group. Oh, Pauls as in politicians. There we go. So it is Washington, D.C., and it's politicians. Stain. Oh, look at that. My sort of blot instinct was seemingly right. Stain. Blah. Why don't I see what that is in this context? Source of some fur. I don't know. Stoat is what came to mind before, and that fits with tote, actually. Oh, a stole? No. No. That's not the source of fur. That's you could make a stole. Isn't right. If errs, perhaps? That person isn't right, they're erring. He isn't right, he errs. Magazine position. I don't know. Oh no. What was I looking at? Oh, 62 across, win big with up. But what I was intended to look at was 63 across, Hot Wheels. What is that? Question mark, pun, or wordplay. And here we have pocket-sized medical tools. Something guns, some kind of pocket-sized medical tools. I'm wondering if it's sort of an insulin shot or something. I don't know. I'm running out of steam yet again. Been a tough puzzle for me, hasn't it? Win big with up. And kind of guide at a museum, an audio guide is pretty common these days. Hawaii's Kona Coast. Should have looked over here, I guess. You may wake up with one in your back. You could have a crick in your back if you wake up, perhaps, a kind of pain, or it's seized up or something. Withdrawn in a way. Asocial. Right. So in a way, meaning we're using this a bit broadly, and we're saying, generally speaking, oh, that person's asocial. That's why they seem withdrawn. Oh, if you're really feeling something in the modern sense, perhaps, maybe you're into it. Is that possible? Colorful blooms along the coast. Red tides, maybe? My Inventions autobiographer. Tesla, perhaps? Nikola Tesla. Win big with up. And tricky thing to pull off. A magic act? Literally. Okay, so the question mark indicating pun or wordplay. The tricky thing in this case is referring to magic tricks. Win big with up. Oh, clean. You could clean up. You've won big. You've cleaned up. And absolutism is iron rule. I see. I was looking for something more philosophical when I first saw this. But no, this refers to the act of iron rule, of absolute rule, absolutism. And then S2 mir Lied, I'm sorry, in German. Okay, fair enough. I wouldn't have known that, unfortunately. An urchin, perhaps. Could be the sea creature, or sort of a child, a scamp, a what? A waif, maybe? I don't know. Dog that's a cross of two French-named breeds. And a magazine. But what is this magazine position? Oh, an editor, maybe. An art editor? Could be the art editor of a magazine. So position as in a role, a job on the staff. And blank Fratelli tomato sauce brand. I don't think I know it. Stain. Blotto? That doesn't seem right. Oh, blotch. A blotch. I was so focused on blot that I didn't think of other forms of the same word, or other. Presumably blotch derives from blot, or vice versa, I suppose. Or they have a shared derivation, more likely. Source of some for, maybe this is Stoat after all. I should have put that in. Maybe it would have helped. Hot Wheels. Oh, stolen car, right. Should have thought more about the question mark and what hot could mean. Hot could mean stolen. And cut down, and then, oh, this is the dog. And then urchin, perhaps. Pocket-sized medical tools, pen lights. There you go. Doctors often will pull pen light out of their pocket. So Dave Fratelli, tomato sauce brand. Fair enough. I'll have to take that on faith that that's true. Cut down is to sell or to... Why don't I see what that is? Cut down. Just looking at the keyboard to see if it can give me any brilliant ideas. Doesn't seem to be. I wonder why. What am I not seeing about this? To cut down could be a verb or a noun. I will cut down on something. No, I guess it can't be a noun. What was I thinking? Oh, it could be present or past tense. To fell a tree. So maybe an urchin is a waif. And yes, that's correct. All right, so let's just look at a couple of these. So dog, that's a cross of two French named breeds. Biton? I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. So this was Eva Perón. Is that who this is? Eva Duarte? That must be. And I don't know if there were probably other things probably not very many things I missed, because I did have to solve this puzzle pretty thoroughly. So that was that. We had a themeless puzzle for Friday. I found this quite tricky. Let me know if you had the same experience. But yes, I did find this one tough. And I wonder why. Why did I find this one tough? I was very surprised about, I think Uranus might be that one exception to the Greek and Roman naming schemes. But I didn't remember that or bring it to mind when I was solving the puzzle. That stopped giving me answers for quite a long time. And then there were a couple other things that I just put in erroneously. Like I put quant or something in here. I can't even remember anymore. I think it was quant, and sank for dropped in the ratings, which is perfectly plausible. But those two things combined probably did make it much more difficult to see lemon curd, because I moved away from that. I didn't even consider the possibility early when I first had these crosses. And then when these crosses were removed or changed, I just wasn't in the right mind space. That's a shame. Hardly be hard on dote. Wish I would have gotten that earlier. Anyway, tough Friday puzzle for me, but let me know how you fared. These things strike everyone very differently, as we've learned. And now, because I only have a few minutes left, let's see if we can quickly get through our clues from yesterday's puzzle. How about that? There were a few, and I will look at them now. So a few people had interpretations about the idea of a vet calling the shots, from the pro calling the shots from yesterday's puzzle. LVZW said, my interpretation of a vet, the pro calling the shots, is that veterinarians prescribe vaccination shots for animals. I thought, yeah, that did occur to me as well, but why is that specific to a veterinarian as opposed to any doctor? It just seemed very vague to me. You could very well be right, and I had the same thought, but it just seemed vague somehow. And anyway, other people had other thoughts, including say baseball players or people who are generally experienced in a field more broadly. I'm not going to read all of them, but I didn't see anything that made me think, yes, that's 100% absolutely what it seems like to me. But I'm sure you're all correct in some sense. Anyway, Kathleen Quinn explains, a writ of mandamus is an order from a court to an inferior government office or official, ordering the government office or official to properly fulfill their duties or correct an abuse of discretion. Thank you, Kathleen Quinn. I figured that must have been some sort of legal terminology, but I didn't know what it was. So thank you for that. And Oldfooter has a correction here explaining, as a Scot, I'd really prefer you to not pronounce sign, S-Y-N-E, with what I was doing, with a Z sound at the beginning, but rather with an S as in sound, not a Z as in zoo. There's another Scots word that perhaps, I'm wondering if his implication here is that this one is pronounced as Zine, S-I-N-E, as in better a clean Zine than a dirty dict, better a clean rinse than a dirty wipe. So there we go, a bit of good Scots terminology for you there. And hopefully I didn't just butcher that again because of my inference about your request. Phantom Pickles points out that per the 2006 film, The Prestige, the three parts of a magic trick, which I referenced while solving 1A, Clue 1A, even though they didn't come into play in the puzzle itself, are the pledge, the turn, and the prestige. So thank you, Phantom Pickles. I couldn't remember that at the time. But now that you say it, it's very familiar. Facts, opinions, and interesting things, it says. LASER, I guess living up to this person's name, explains LASER as an acronym stands for Light Amplification by Simulated Emission of Radiation. Personally, I feel that laser as a word has worked its way into the English lexicon sufficiently to lose its acronym status. I think that's fair enough. I think it absolutely deserves to be called a word and doesn't need to be referred to as an acronym, but I think it still technically is an acronym, even though we don't think of it as such or expand it out very often. But I think it's still fair enough to call it an acronym, even though it is also a completely valid English word that has been fully integrated. And Heather Whaley finally points out, you missed commenting on 14 across, B-R-O-T, brot, I guess, for German bread. And so we had a bit of German in today's crossword as well. That's unusual. Maybe the New York Times crossword is branching out beyond French and Spanish as its principal foreign language inclusions. All right, and there we go. That's it. And it looks like I did basically complete this in time. So that's that for me today with the puzzle. That's that for the video. I'll be back tomorrow for the second of two themeless puzzles, of course, the Saturday puzzle. I hope you join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Friday. Take care.